You mad at your motherfucking team got sent home again, nigga. Your team trash, nigga.
First of all, you need to calm down, or I'm gonna put my tongue straight in your butthole and lick your shit out.
What is wrong with you, guys, nigga? First of all, Cloud9 getting sent home. That trash ass org, nigga.
What do you
Fuck
mean?
out of here, nigga. You know what I mean, nigga. They trash, nigga.
That's why Ben had to take. They took Ben back from RNG because they knew he was the best player they have. If Ben's off our BLG next year, that shouldn't.
Fuck all that. Where RNG at home, nigga? They trash, nigga.
How many rings 100 got?
It don't matter, motherfucking rings they got, nigga. How many rings GENG got, nigga? None, nigga.
3.
No, I'm talking about world championship rings. Fuck all that. America and Koreans get way differently, nigga. Where GENG at now, nigga? Where G2 at, nigga? Where Cloud9? No, fuck all that. Where they at, nigga? They at home. Sit your bitch ass down, drink your shit ass kickstart, and start the motherfucking show.
Look, I'm gonna jerk your ass off. I'm gonna jerk you off real good. Make you hard as fuck. Me flaccid. All your come out.
Why you trying to sound gay for the shock value, nigga? Your team trash, you trash, California trash. Throw all that shit in the ocean, nigga.
How many rings it?
Nigga, what basketball team you root for the Lakers? You bandwagon ass fan, nigga.
Can't hear you overall. Oh, trophies I got.
No. Fuck all that. How many? Who do you root for basketball, nigga? You talk.
I can't hear you off all these trophies I got. Actually,
nigga, you ain't got no motherfucking trophy. You bandwagon ass nigga. How many teams?
You trying to get fisted? You trying to have my fingers up your ass?
I'm trying to fist your bitch, nigga. Fuck all that.
All right. Well, everyone, welcome to the Cloud9 podcast, season 9, episode 8. And if you saw this arranged gorilla going hard on the podcast,
no. What basketball team do you root for? I swear to God, you said the Lakers. You a bandwagon dick rider, nigga. Who you root for? Who do you root for at basketball, nigga?
I knew they were doomed this
year. Who do you root for at basketball, motherfucker? Answer the question.
I've been a Clippers fan since the 80s.
Clippers, nigga. The motherfuckers can't even get to the finals, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. They trash. Throw your whole city in the trash, nigga. Fuck that. Throw California in the trash.
Connecticut trash. What you guys got? The Jerry Springer show? It's the best thing you got in your state?
Nigga better than trash ass Hollywood and Gavin Newsom, motherfucker.
What do you mean? All the stuff you like came from my state. Get the fuck out of here.
First of all, them motherfuckers never filmed. Jerry Springer never filmed in LA, motherfucker. First of all, that's the L. He filmed in Chicago, bitch. Second thing, fuck Hollywood, nigga.
Wilco show and shove it up your ass.
Nigga, take Hollywood and shove it up your ass, motherfucker. Oh, trash ass state. Burn your whole state to the trash, nigga.
You know what? You trying to go outside and throw hands right now?
I'm gonna knock your ass out, and I'm gonna beat you like how BLG beat GENG, nigga.
When Weibo clap BLG next week, I'm gonna rub it in your face.
Nigga, I'm the Shy fan. Either way, I get a win-win with Weibo and BLG, nigga.
All right. Okay, that's all. Okay, so if Ruler wins for JDG this year, I get that trophy, right? That's how
no, because he ain't on trash ass GENG, nigga. Because he realized GENG's trash. They ain't never going to win as long as you got Chovy there choking on dick like yo bitch ass, nigga. You trash.
Hey. What do you mean? I'm gonna get Lennon to eat my ass. I'm gonna get Lennon to eat my ass. I'm gonna eat yours at the same time. We're gonna do a human centipede of shit eating.
What's wrong with you, nigga? Why are you so gay? Why are you the way you are? Why are you gay?
Well, guys, there is a lot to go over, actually, pertaining to League of Legends. But how are you guys doing this week? Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We're having an extra episode this week because there's a lot of news going on, too, pertaining to the League of Legends 2023 off season. There's other videos that I haven't got a chance to put out for you guys. Actually, I'm
so far behind in videos too. It's crazy.
I'm gonna make sure I get your video. So you having a chance to I haven't downloaded now. All I got to do is literally just clip the certain part out. So we're gonna have one. I don't know if I should. No. I should probably just record that on here and then just clip it out. That's what I should do, actually. Yeah, that's what I'll do. You guys already saw the video based around JoJo, and toward that topic, we'll talk about that at the end, and then at that moment in the show, I'm going to clip out the part about the other offseason news that came out. So I'm pretty much all caught up with offseason news outside of the TSM, EG 100 Thieves, and Perks and Kaiser last bit of news. I'm going to have that all in one video. So I'm going to put all that in one video outside of tonight's information, and then I'll be all caught up. But Mad Lions blowing up. You know what's crazy, guys? They already have their new bot lane. Harzi, you out. Hillsang, you're out.
Oh, no, Hillsang,
you don't want to be here anyway. You're already out.
Hillsang should have been out.
Niski, Yo-Yo didn't want to be in the org anymore after 2022. You know what? You guys can already be gone. Just, go look for other work elsewhere. Chasey, you can't even see work. You can't even see where you're at. Just go back to Korea,
Jesus Christ.
Well, so there's been a lot that's gone on, man, but we won't be here too long tonight, guys. I just wanted to go over, talk about the G2 Scrim record thing, the Weibo game, and the BLG beating GENG game, actually. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Am I mad? Very. But I'll exude my anger when we get a chance to talk about BLG versus GENG. But to be fair, there is a good chance we could have an all LPL semifinals.
Chinese
very, very, very possible.
Chinese supremacy in Korea. Watch.
Those fans are not happy. I'll tell you that right now. Those fans
wouldn't that be crazy if they had the league finals in China next year and it's all Korean teams?
Remember last year it was basically LCK supremacy or Korea supremacy in America. Remember last year it was 3 LCK teams, 1 LPL team made it, and JDG literally just rogue.
But at least every team last year had I think every team except Rogue had a Korean player. Rogue had Malron. Oh yeah, he. He is. Yeah. Yep, that's me. Damn, every player had a Korean. Every team had a Korean player.
Crazy? All these players would be like, "Well, you should just hire NA talent." Oh, we've had this discussion before. Anyone watching this and listening to this on the podcasting platforms, thank you so much for your support. These fans that talk about this bullshit, like, I need NA talent. NRG literally has a Korean and Australian for bot laners. Even they aren't fully North American. Actually,
I don't think most people ask for both Americans. They don't want to see a Flag Quest or a Team Liquid. That's what it is. You don't want to see five. Yeah. Like, even though Speaker is from here, he's Korean, but he's from here.
My thing is, how we had that TL roster announced? Yeah. That TL roster that was like Bjergsen, Whippo, Core JJs, and Torrent. Yep. People were hyped as fuck for that roster. No one was hyped for whatever Golden Guardians looked like that year. No one was hyped for whatever Bulls looked like that year, or Dignitas, whatever. People like the imports.
Yep.
They just hate when the imports fail. That's it. People love the imports. Right now, Berserker just got re-signed to Cloud9. People were like, oh my God. They were clamoring for Cloud9 to sign Stixay.
Oh, God. I don't think anybody was clamoring for it.
I don't think Stixay got any offers, to be honest here. But,
he probably got an offer to be a coach again.
It's really crazy how people will be like, oh, yeah, put in NA talent. Okay, on your power rankings, you're going to put an NA team, all NA team, not only just together. All right, so GMs, put an all NA team together. We know that's not going to happen. Then on power rankings for content creators, put that team first over the imported teams. That's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen, but I'm going to tell you this. After last year, you think about it, you got 3/5 of the team in North America that wins the LCS. That's mean you got to start looking at it like maybe sometimes maybe the Korean players we're getting are not top tier because
I think it's
Korean,
a mentality and a mindset too.
They might be overhyped. Plus, also it's a different lifestyle over here.
Very different over here.
Yeah. We don't train like the way they train over there.
Like over there for League, their life literally is League.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that over here it's not like that either. I'm not, but it's such a culture shock for them coming over here and the different practice regimes and the solo queue is terrible here. Like, come on, solo queue is so bad here.
Of course, Plus, I remember they were saying that they used to, because some of the Chinese Korean teams used to practice like 3 in the morning, go to sleep for like 5 hours, wake back up at 8, practice, get some fresh air, practice. Like America, it's like, oh, practice. We'll be by 10 or 11, go do what you want to do till like 2 in the morning, go to sleep, be up around 9 or 10. I'm like, it's more liberty over here. Because, I mean, league is life, but it's not the way of life. And Korea is league or bust. It's either you win, or you got to realize too, there's more motivation in Korea. In China. Because if you don't, you get drafted to that military. And no one wants to be in the fucking military.
And that's the thing in Korea, where people always kind of build it as this like safe haven for esports. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I mean, if you dedicate your whole life to esports and you fail at it, you have nothing. You left school. I mean, you're just gonna end up being what? The fucking guy who mixes the flour of the chicken in a chicken shop. That's who you'll be. You know. So it's one of these things where people are just they'll be so virtuous online, but in actuality, they don't even believe the shit they're saying, like themselves, And I think it sucks because the imported rosters are the ones you want to do well because they have like in theory the highest ceiling to do well internationally. Like the FlyQuest roster bombing was terrible for North America, Yeah, it's bad when they bomb because you in theory don't have even the best players representing the region, Like we know Impact's not a bad top laner. We know that. But he's on FlyQuest, Yeah. Like imagine what difference would it be if Impact was like on Cloud9 or Team Liquid. Again, he was on these orgs before. Or
that's the thing too. What if next year Cloud9 they let go of Fudge, they find a way to get Impact? They already got Blabber as a jungler. You know who they...
The roster that is rumored, because we'll go over it later, but the rumored roster right now is Blabber, Jojopyun, Berserker, and Vulcan.
I take that.
Vulcan was on Cloud9 before.
And now we just need a top laner.
It's unknown right now if they're going to keep Fudge. I just don't want to keep him again.
He's definitely the weakest piece. That's like...
Someone said, you can sign Revenge. He's free. No. Cloud9's better than that. Yeah.
What?
Have Fudge or Revenge. Even if Fudge is bad, he beats Revenge all the time. Yeah, I'll just take Fudge there. It's like, what?
Who? Son, who? Like when motherfuckers be like, I remember when someone was like, oh, Chad, if you don't like playing Chimpal, you always play Marina. I'm like, no, I'm good. Marina's good, but I'd rather just have Chimpal. It's like when Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, oh, you don't like playing Manatium, you can play this deck. I'm like, nigga, what? Nigga, you want me to play Solomon Great? Nigga, fuck out of here. That deck's trash. Like, nigga, the Bureau token, nigga. Fuck out of here. Yeah, it's nah. It's they said when people were saying that you can just have revenge. I'm like,
even Immortals, given the state of Immortals, didn't even
got rid of their
Immortals.
Worst team.
Immortals, I'd rather be a worse team than keep him on our roster.
The worst team in the region.
By far.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, man. That the worst org in the region by far, outside of maybe Dig, we're like, nah, we're good. That's crazy.
Exactly.
I've never even got why he's had like the weirdest stance he's had, honestly. You know what I mean?
I think it's his personality. I think when people meet him, he's just so welcoming and it makes people want to root for him.
Right.
Trust me, I've been around people on my team that have been just trash. Let's like football, like people who are chefs, like they'll be like, oh, of course everybody shit talks each other. It's like oh, but he has a great attitude. My attitude wasn't always the greatest. But like during clutch time, like motherfuckers, translate this, translate that. But when you motherfucking need it, who the motherfucker out here like clutching up, working overtime and shit. And that's the thing too. It's like people.
Did you have that at your other job where like she didn't even really like you, but when push comes to shove, you'll be the first person to cover the the part of the grill
I'm
where they
gonna
need you more?
I'm gonna tell you like that. I was like that at every job I was, except this one and the restaurant before I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, because I used to work like 7 in the morning to like 8 at night, like 5 days a week. Like I was exhausted. Like good thing I had weekends off. That's me. As soon as sorry, Friday I got off at 4:00 because they closed early on Friday afternoon. That Friday afternoon, whew, oh my god, that and the sun was still out. I'll go to the movies. I was going to the movies Friday afternoon, like literally just smell like grease. I ain't give a fuck. I was like, because I know if I go home, I'm not coming back out. I'm going to sleep.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so usually this is what I do. Usually if I'm in town, let's say I get off the bus, I walk home, I'm like this. I'm going to go to the gym right now. I'm going to do all my stuff in town right now. Because when I go in, I'm not walking out. Oh, yeah. I know that, because I thought to myself, I'd rather just do everything while I'm already out than just come back, sit down, rest, then go back out again. I feel like it's harder to get up and go back out again than to just do everything all at once. Yeah. So that's what I do. I'll just do everything at once, and then I just stay inside. Because, man, people are rude as fuck. I hate people sometimes. People are garbage, man. When I first met you, I was like, yeah, people are not that bad. I think you're overreacting. No. People are trash. Fuck people, dude.
Yeah, I remember saying that. He was like, oh, I was like, no, people are trash, dude.
I try to always, think there's good in people, man.
Oh, no, trust me. I'm the same way. But the issue is I've worked in the restaurant industry long enough where it's motherfuckers I remember one time motherfuckers kept saying, oh, you're the slowest person in the kitchen. I was like, nigga, at least I ain't complaining, my back hurt, my this. Nigga, shut the fuck. You sound like a bitch every time you fucking talk. Do sir, then shut the fuck up. And stop working a kitchen job then. Because every time I turn around, you always fucking complain about something hurting. Nigga, I don't give none of us give a fuck. Then your back hurts, nigga. Stop crying like a little bitch. I was like, man, whoa, but I gotta get up early in the morning. This mother, you don't think most of us got 2 jobs, nigga? I was like, yo, get the fuck out of my face, man. He was trying to shit on me. I was like, nigga, you can't shit on me when you out here sound like a little bitch every time you open your fucking mouth. I could not hold it anymore. I was just sick of this nigga. I was like, fuck this. And I knew at that point, people only fucks with you until like it's like this. The minute you either are no more used to them or you push back. Cause it's one thing when you're a little timid and you don't want to, rock the boat. When you start rocking the boat, motherfuckers start changing differently. Cause now they know they can't punk you. And once you know you can't be punked, motherfuckers start like acting guilty. It's the same thing with you. It's like when motherfuckers do something wrong and then they try to dodge you because they know they fucked up. Like, how some of the people you got an argument there and then motherfuckers disappear for a while and then they came back and they act like nothing happened. That's how I be at work sometimes, but you gotta see those motherfuckers. That's more awkward because you can't do that around motherfuckers when you still gotta work with them. You're like, fuck, whatever. It's like that's why you just be like, fuck, I don't care. And then, but working in the restaurant, motherfuckers quit all the goddamn time. It's like, or motherfuckers don't want to come to work, and then I gotta
what's crazy, man, is people in the scene are just getting exposed every day at this point now. Yeah. Carlos talking about on Twitter, if you follow him on Twitter, he's talking about that EG is ran by some disgusting people and they're getting exposed. Guys, EG's going through a lot of problems. Not even just the Nicole stuff, because that was just the icing on the cake. EG's been ran badly for a hot minute there. Like all of these industries, like gaming, movies, TV, not anime. Anime hasn't really ever had this problem itself, but those industries, right, all being like built up for these last like 4 or 5 years with these really cringe, disgusting like activists putting all that propaganda bullshit, trying to virtue signal at everybody, and now all this just falling apart. Like, oh, we'll just put a black woman as the face of our org, fresh out of college with no experience. What?
I mean, a lot of times people out of college get experiences like those. I think it's the way they presented it. I've always said I'm never mad at someone getting a job. It's how they present.
Yeah, it's the way that EG presented it. Like, oh yeah, we're doing really great for the women in this space. So
see all that right there sounds like they're covering up for something that's much worse. Like I've been in that space where it's like, oh, we hired our first black people at the job. First of all, I wanted to put it out there like that. Because conservative.
Do you remember that article from the Washington Post when she first got hired? I don't know if you were following at the time. They had this article about her, and it was like, oh my god.
I didn't know what League of Legends was.
Do you remember that Washington Post article? It was this weird, like, cringe puff piece that basically said it said all the buzzwords, it said all the keywords. It was like, Nicole is our first person of color CEO in esports. She's gonna drive the performance and quality and gonna be this big figure for women in the space. And I'm sitting here reading this virtue signaling garbage. Like,
I remember, my teacher brought it up in class. He said, "This is the number one thing you do not want to do. Even if the first black person, you don't present them like that, because now it makes it look like you're pandering. You never want to you never want to pander to anybody, because pandering is begging, but on a higher level. It's like you don't want to, like, you never pander. You always just leave it alone. Like, and I was like, yeah, it's like what Chad said. It's like when the liberals back they were trying to pair the black people. Oh, it's like you should want to integrate. No, not always. Sometimes integration.
Yeah, because their idea is like, oh, if I appoint a black person in this position, then he understands all the black people. And it's like, you know how racist that is? Just by concept alone, that is so fucking racist to be like, if I hire a black person, they'll just know what every black person
is. It's not even racist, it's ignorant. Because it's like, that is straight ignorance.
So EG's thinking like, oh, if we just promote a person of color woman there, she'll understand all the woman troubles in esports. And it's like, when has she ever entered in? First of all, that would be based off two things. One, how long has she actually been in esports? Second of all, how would she speak for everyone's experience? Because that's pretty misogynistic or sexist, saying that every woman has went through the same thing that she has. And it's like, this is just nothing but a bunch of fluff, virtue signaling, like you mentioned. These people are just fake. It's just dumb.
It's the idea of it is racist, because what it is you're saying, first of all, we don't, because I'm telling you this, like, and it was the same thing with Candace Owens back in there. Because she's black doesn't mean she comes from the same neighborhood I come from. Like,
she understood that as she got older. That the way she thought back then was just terrible.
Yeah, and I remember it was like the reason why I don't say all black people, because I don't like. There are black people who are not from this country, and there's black people who never lived.
Remember, they try to give Chrissy's Valorant championship to Nicole. Oh, she helped out so much. Really. Nicole barely knows how to run the League of Legends side. She can run the Valorant side.
I mean, the issue is she did help hire Nicole. That's the thing. There's some levels there that it's like 80. This is what I said. When the org wins the championship, everybody who contributed, even the water boy or whatever,
they get some praise. Yeah.
Like, you don't get as much praise as Patrick Mahomes, but you get praise. It's like Aroldis Chapman just won the World Series with the Texas Rangers. Dude's trash now, but he helped pitch a couple innings, struck out some people, got the Rangers to where they needed to be. It's like, do I want to be like, oh, but he didn't win the World Series. He technically did win the World Series. He wasn't the most impactful player, but he was on the team. I'm looking at Corey Seager. Corey Seager was the number one player on the team. He should have 100%, like. And that's the thing, too. Nicole should get recognition for hiring the people she did. Like, she was able to hire Nicole, who helped EG win Valor's Worlds. That is true. But guess what? Right on the other side, you can also look at how she helped manage the League of Legends team. You literally ran the ADC into the ground, and then you
remember, she fired all the people that brought her that LCS title.
Yeah,
Peter Dunn's gone. Danny's gone. I mean, JoJo's going to leave for Cloud9 after his 2-year contract. Remember, JoJo's first org, he didn't stay with them more than like 2 years. He's done.
I mean, but
to be fair, that's usually most esports contracts is usually 2 years.
But that was the rookie contract, though. Sometimes these players don't stay on the rookie. If the team that's rookie design was good, it was good at first, and then like I said, that rookie contract. I'm sorry, like a lot of players are not signing those rookie extensions anymore. They're like, nope, let me play up to 2 years, and then because of course I watch basketball, football. Some of these players, like Chase Young, literally was still on his rookie deal in Washington, got traded to the 49ers. These teams and that's the thing about rookie contracts. You could it's like it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, now in the LCS now coming up, man. Monty revealed it. I'll probably add it into my news videos for coming up, where he mentioned that these players are gonna have to sign different levels of contracts here. Coming into this year, 2024. Remember, because it got revealed that these orgs don't make no money. When James started telling me that they work, I was like, dude, I know they don't.
They probably they
make money. They just don't make profit.
Yeah, they probably make money, just not in the realm they make money in.
Or not as much money as they need to be making, or not as much money they need to be making to justify these contracts. I always said these players, I think, should be compensated fairly, but the amount of money that they're making does not justify what the league is bringing in viewership, as well as what the org is bringing in for money. They shouldn't be getting paid more than what the org is bringing in.
Plus, of course.
Because that's unsustainable. That's all I was bringing up. It's not sustainable. It's proven now it's not. They're switching up those contracts.
It's profit at a loss. Because that's what happens.
And then anyone listening to this, you know what the players did? They're like, we're gonna walk out, as they're the ones all benefiting from this.
I mean, the issue is, the walkout to me wasn't bad. I think my main issue is. What was the main point you was trying to get out of it? Because I didn't really understood it.
Yeah, because we know they don't give a fuck about. They themselves don't give a fuck about academy players. They throw a bitch fit when they're replaced. Was it players?
Was it fully about academy, or was it something deeper? That was my main question.
I'm being honest here, dude. I think Phil Ram just manipulated them. Just being honest here. Okay. We know they're not the smartest people in the bunch. We know that.
Of course not.
These are some young 19, 24-year-old dudes.
Yeah, these motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they want.
These are literally self-introverted dudes who play the league for like 16 hours a day. They don't have no experiences in life. They don't know what people are. They don't know, like you said earlier, but to me, like a long time ago, they don't know if people have their best self-interest at heart.
Yeah.
You have to keep in. Phil Aram was a person that literally contributed to the league the issue that he apparently is against. So when EG first came into the league, instead of having Jizuke, the guy that's on Dom's stream, he used to play for EG. He used to play for EG and LCS. They wanted to get Chovy. He was a part of that EG. Who wanted to bring Chovy over here for they were trying to get that guy like $8 million.
Oh shit.
$8 million, right? But then he's all of a sudden now going but my players are treated unfairly. Bro, you were literally contributing to the bullshit that's happened in the LCS, where the economic structure has been disgustingly bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these people in the scene are just... people. I don't like using the word grifters, but it's looking like a lot of people in the scene are just straight up just flat out grifting.
Of course.
They're just here for a quick buck, and they're not really here for the health of esports.
Of course. No, it's like you said it. They're here for a quick buck. That's what most of these... Yeah, really. Most of these people... If they can see a quick buck here and there, they're gonna go for it. Like why? That's the thing is,
there's no reason to justify these huge contracts if the org you're working for is not bringing in almost any money.
Exactly.
Because it's unsustainable from just a business point of view of so you get free money in sponsorships, okay?
Yep.
But the money you get in sponsorships, the money that they're taking from all these sponsorships doesn't even sustain the fucking contracts for a whole team, coaching staff, food, utilities, travel, all this stuff. People these sponsorships have to be worth a lot. Yeah, all the expenses and all the stuff. These players are grossly overpaid, and the performance doesn't justify it either. I can understand these guys getting this much money if our performance at Worlds justifies it. You know what I mean? But it's not. they need to definitely restructure it about how these players are getting paid, like the incentives and the bonus structure for like your, the bonuses that you get if you maybe make playoffs or whatever. All that needs to get lowered. If these guys are making $200K a year, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I know people don't like the word salary cap, but there needs to be one, because for the health of the league, there needs to be a salary cap, though. The amount of money these guys are bringing in does not justify these guys making this much money. It just doesn't. You would economically collapse the league doing that stuff. There's a reason why the orgs told Riot, you got to suspend payments.
Yeah.
They literally told Riot they have to suspend the payments. Now, they'll have to pay this money back with interest, but, if they can at least take 2 years off from paying Riot their franchise fees and try and fix the money structure in the league based off these guys' contracts, that needs to happen, honestly. I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot more to it, but that's like the general gist of it. All right. So let's talk about G2. So G2 bombed out of the 2023 League of Legends World Championship. Did you see the post from their manager, Roman, about their scrim record?
Yeah, I saw part of that.
Okay, so I know this has been a huge topic of debate on like Reddit. So I know we've talked about scrims here too. So it all depends on how you value scrims as an org, right? So some people use scrims to build confidence in themselves and trying out new strategies. So even if you don't win all the scrims, at least you're feeling like you're getting something out of it. Some people use it for practice. Some people use it to like limit tests. There's a lot of reasons. It could all be a mixture of all three as well. But with G2, everyone throughout the entire was saying G2's just king in scrims. People cancel on us. We dominate the scrims, But the thing with Asian teams, people don't understand, man, is they're not going all out in scrims. I feel like they never do really. They definitely, I think, try to a certain point, but even if they're trying at like 50%, these guys are trying at like 90 to win these scrims, because they know they have to put in more effort than the Asian teams at beating them to make themselves feel like they're really actually doing it. Now,
yes, it's a confidence booster, of course.
Right. And the key difference here, the people need to understand that is valuable in the future, just in case this specific aspect does happen, is so it's not like the teams, so it's not like someone like, let's say G2. So it's not like G2 are getting shit stomped in scrims, right? So they can beat these guys. These guys are beatable, I guess you could say, in a scrim environment, right?
Yep.
The problem is translating this to the stage, okay? And that's been the problem too, is translating their scrim success to the stage, actually. But G2 as an org who is in their League of Legends department has to understand people play differently in scrims than they do on stage. Literally in scrims, motherfuckers could be in their boxers playing scrims. On stage, you have to get prepared. There's a crowd there. A lot of differences there. A different setting can be the difference maker in how someone performs on the day, actually.
Exactly.
So for people to say certain things like, oh, if G2 is not better than NRG, then G2 did not deserve to go. Okay, let's analyze that. So the team Weibo that NRG got clobbered by, people know G2 actually beat them, right?
You're the best in one.
G2 actually beat them, and the game was highly favored toward them for the most part until they started throwing randomly later on during the game. So how would you even evaluate that? NRG can't even beat Weibo, but G2 can. But G2's worse than them. I wouldn't even people got to stop thinking like that, because that mindset is just so weird. I think the actual position is NRG played better on that day than G2, which is obvious to say they did. And that's all that matters.
That's me.
Yeah. On that day, NRG played better, right? Just on that day specifically.
Maybe
right?
NRG might have been better. You got to look at it like this. Weibo beat NRG in the best of one. G2 beat him in the best of one. We don't know how it would have been if it was the best of three. Like
between G2 and Weibo. Yeah.
In the best of one, you get a lot luckier. Like, and that's the situation.
There's a lot of variance in the best of one. Yeah,
I don't think NRG is better than G2. I think of that day G2 got a very, very lax in their
confidence.
There's draft comp. I mean, losing GG shouldn't really get your confidence down. I think what it is too, and this is what NRG does the best. They tend to start looking at how teams draft and they try to counter the draft.
Yeah, because that thing you just said there is really, really key. People need to understand, given the certain context of how something plays out, actually does impact how the result comes out. You know how people think, dude? People think, oh, it happened this way. So that means it was always meant to happen that way. That's literally not how that goes. That's actually not how that goes in any context ever, given the fact that in League, there's best of ones, best of threes, and best of fives, right? So we know in an isolated context, Weibo versus NRG does not look good for NRG at all, right?
Yeah.
To be fair, also, since this world was based around the Swiss stage, NRG had to face, good God forbid, they faced Weibo. So Weibo's first game against them in the tournament looked like how their best of five went, actually, you know? So they lost to Weibo 4 times, actually. They didn't win a single game against Weibo. They faced Weibo, lost. They beat Team Liquid, and they beat Mad Lions. Team Liquid, like, it's one of the worst teams at the tournament, so that's a free win for anybody. Mad Lions is literally just Mad Lions. They're a free win in every context ever. The worst international EU org, like, ever. And then they face G2.
Exactly.
I mean, the wins that NRG got, guys, were literally just against a bunch of bums. Let's be honest, these are some of the worst teams at the tournament, right? The only game that really actually mattered for them is just beating G2. Let's be honest here. That was it. G2's schedule was beating Asian teams, Weibo and DK. These are the weakest Asian teams. Make sure that's context there for that. And they lost to GENG, right?
Yeah.
So G2 can beat Asian teams. NRG cannot, but somehow NRG is better. I see that doesn't even work, you know? I mean, not saying you. This is how, like, fans think, and they're just dumb, you know? Like, just because something happens on that day, that doesn't mean that it's always going to be the case. So there's always teams out there that can play much differently into each other, given on any given day, especially in the given context too. Like, imagine if that's not a best of 3. Imagine a best of 5. Does G2 win in a best of 5? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they pull off a reverse sweep. I don't know. That's the problem with the tournament format, is that it's so random in best of 3s, where I like the best of 3 edition because I think there's more variance there, because I hate generally a best of 1 deciding everything. So I do like the addition of best of 3s, but it's just this tournament was so off with how, like, the seeding went and how the matchups were played out, and it's crazy. And the thing is, like, no one even had NRG winning. Everyone had NRG losing most of the games too. So how can they themselves believe NRG is better, but they didn't even predict for them? Everyone predicted them to lose. Like, no one really thought they were winning. So if people think that NRG is better than G2, but a vast majority of these people didn't even predict for them. I'm sort of going like, what? People had G2 as the best Western team coming into the event. No one had NRG coming as the best Western team at this event. No one. You know, someone's like, oh, but Contracts is underrated, and Palafox could do. Really? You really thought that? Get the fuck out of here. It's such a lie. And that's the thing is, that's the thing is, G2 need to fix going forward, moving forward into 2024. So you're gonna have good scrims. You somehow need to be able to translate that to the stage and understand certain teams are not going to be going all out against you during scrims. You know, it's just how that's going to be. You know, and why do you think a team like as good as them couldn't translate their scrim success to their stage success? Actually,
G2.
Yeah,
I think sometimes when they play a very simple comp. That's me. It's one of those, once it gets figured out, you have to switch. But when you're so used to doing one thing and winning with it, you tend not to want to, you know, move away from it. And then, like, and NRG didn't expose them. They literally put the whole shit out there. Like, oh, okay, this is how G2 plays. They play one direction. If you go any other direction, you'll win. It's like, oh, fuck. Okay. Hey, yeah, G2, you might want to actually switch up because your whole cock's been exposed now.
Yeah, that R5 on Belveth, so bad for them against that NRG game. And also, I know people are blaming Yike for a lot of their performances, but you understand, a lot of their players, I mean, did not. I'm not saying they didn't play well in general. It's more like when they played up against better opposition, you saw just how limited they could actually push past that. You know, like Hansama on Draven looks pretty cracked. Hansama on Zaya looks pretty good. Hansama on Lucian, you know, like it's not like these guys aren't good players. It's just more like remember that GENG game they played against him in game 1 when he had their Renekton pick? You know, like they were pushing the game, but they never got anything for it. That's really concerning. That you're winning the game, but GENG have no fear that they're ever going to lose the game because you're not actually getting anything off of it. It's such a weird paradox they're in right now, you know? Some people said, do you get different players to kind of fix that? I mean, different players don't just generally fix that. I mean, that could also make you worse or better, give or take who you're trying to replace them with. I mean, I think a lot of it was Mickey X. I think a lot of them started playing worse as the tournament went on. You know,
yeah, because
the pressure too much. I don't know. Too much,
it probably. I think what it was too. They started getting everything they were doing was getting countered. It's like
because the same thing that people mentioned with Cloud9. Oh, when Cloud9 goes internationally, that style is not going to work. Well, couldn't the same thing apply for G2 as well? You know, they were playing. They had very two distinct play styles all year. You know. There's the one where they highly tailor it towards bot, and Yike goes bot, and they get bot ahead. Or you have the other one where Broken Blade's on an island, he can hold his own, and then obviously the caps and Yike's energy is just non-existent. So Yike plays for himself, does early invades, and he gets ahead, and he translates that to top lane. And you have your bot lane that's on average doing really well because it's just Hansama, Mickey X, who's just going to be a pretty good bot lane in general. So that's the thing is, I don't know. I mean, I guess NA is supposed to be proud of NRG making it to quarterfinals and just, you know.
I mean, I'm proud that they made it. I'm just
I am too.
Temper these expectations that this team wasn't good. Let's.
That's why I told people you need to temper your expectation with some of this stuff. Like NRG is not winning worlds. You know, them just getting to quarters is an achievement for just Org in general.
Yeah, from where this Org came from, like
if you're asking most people, let's be honest, they'd rather have domestic titles than world titles because they know they're not ever winning a world title, ever. You know, like it's the thing of, you know, people like G2 because they've had that international success and they tasted it before. They have it's a different level to how they view just league in general. You know, someone like NRG is just kind of just a team that will maybe be at Worlds like once in their entire league span ever. Actually, you know. Like, is NRG going to be a constant team we're going to see at Worlds every year?
Nope.
I don't think so. They might make it next year because they probably keep the same roster, try to run it back, you know? But I don't know. That's going to happen for NRG. I'm not, you know, downplaying NRG's win, but when people say things like, oh, that was always going to happen, though. No, that's just not how that works. That's just how that one scenario played out for you, actually, you know? Because all I saw is NRG facing a bunch of shitters and getting some free wins, you know? That's all I saw. But then again, what do I know? Because I'm just a salty G2 fan who lost his team early on. Now we're going to talk about losing my other team last night. So BLG. Oh, we have to. So before that, Weibo versus NRG. The first quarterfinal matchup of Worlds 2023, NRG versus Weibo, and it pretty much went just about as bad as we thought it was with NRG.
The first game was close, but NRG doesn't know how to close against good teams. And that was the issue. They didn't know how to close against good teams, and Weibo knew that and just ran right over them. Yep.
This is the thing, is when you're coming into this matchup with NRG versus Weibo, a lot of people thought, oh, if NA did make a miracle semifinals at Worlds 2023, it would have to be against them, right? It would have to be against them, the weakest Asian team. Yeah, but that weakest Asian team curb stomped this team in the first day of the Swiss stage, actually. So even you're already thinking like, okay, it's about best of 1. How about a best of 3 with adaptability there? Yeah, literally outside of game 1, it was pretty much just textbook for Weibo. And people got to factor in, you know how we were watching that series live? Weibo didn't even change up their comp in game 2. All they chose was just Aatrox in game 2. Remember?
And that actually made it worse for NRG because Aatrox did more damage. I was like, oh shit. They literally got the same combos better because they swapped out. I forgot.
They swapped out Cassante for Aatrox, actually. So they let Dokla have Cassante.
And that was a huge mistake on NRG's part. Because I was like, oh.
That's the big problem, man. Is like, NRG have a very limited way of how they want to play the game if they're against a team that knows how they play, right? So if you're looking at NRG, their biggest strength would be like what Palafox and Contracts. Contracts has had up to this point. I think NRG's faced some shitters, but like Contracts has looked good, right? But this is the thing: Contracts is facing Weiwei. Weiwei's a very good person at neutralizing aggressive junglers. From his invades you saw. Remember those? From his invades, and now he's pathing. So Contracts' style is not going to work. Remember he invaded Contracts game 2, put him so far behind he was irrelevant. That's Weiwei's thing, actually. Where in game 1, I mean, there was a lot of weird deja vu in this series where like Weibo will be way too aggressive on the Baron. NRG would take it, but NRG never really got anything for it. And even though it looked like Weibo was in the game, this is the problem with a lot of these Western teams is macro is bad. The rotations are bad. Even if we get a Baron for like a lot of Western teams, why is that we're always like 6 turrets down by like 20 minutes? It's the same shit that happened last year, remember?
Yeah.
Games would be abysmally played macro-wise. These guys' rotations are much cleaner, man. And even if you're winning a game and you're getting a Baron, it's like, but you've barely got past their first turrets. Now you're going to try and force down their tier 2s. It's just really bad. Also, I think Xiaohu had a pretty... Weibo had a pretty good series overall. But, I mean, to be fair, this was the expected result. I mean, Light getting a Philios both games. Remember, they try to have that pick comp where they try to go back and fight Light, but obviously they gave him Milo, who works really well with the Philios. They had a lot of defensive tools to protect Light. It's basically just protect Light to be their secondary carry, and the Shy just does the Shy things, actually.
The issue with NRG is they was trying to treat Weibo like they was treating G2. I was like, no, you can't do that. It was like they was trying to let G2 pick their champions and then say, oh, we can beat them. I was like, okay. That's
people were saying, oh yeah, big dokes. Yeah, his laning phase against the Shy was terrible. I know he said it wasn't that bad, buddy. Go back and watch your laning phase against him. That was terrible, honestly. What's up with people picking like champions like Renekton and Gnar and not getting anything out of them? Why can't they just pick Sion or, God forbid, I don't even like this champion, pick Orin or something? Have way more impact on the game than hoping you're going to play a carry, actually attempt to carry the game, but you end up losing, and now you're just a useless champion. These guys just have such even ego trips in the West where it's like, I guarantee if these guys played Sion, they would have a much more better impact on the game. But they don't want to play Sion because then you're just going to get looked at as just the tank player.
Yep. The thing is, too, like, you have to constantly swap out what kind of champion you play.
Don't you swap decks in Pokemon, too?
Yeah. Anytime I realize a meta is not working, like now I'm looking at it's like, and with like when it comes to like Pokemon, it's like if your deck loses to a deck a lot of these people are playing, you have to put that deck aside for a bit, and then you go to a new deck until people start moving on. The issue is your deck might be strong, but if it plays into a certain meta, like with champions, like Sion's good, but a lot of these guys don't know how to play him. And that's the other issue too.
They don't know how to play him well. That's the thing. They're playing him like just a meat shield, and it's like, no, you can do many things on Sion. The thing is, they want to look like they're the big carry guy against the carry LPL guys, and it's like I don't care what these guys say. It's just a bunch of cope. You're not as good as them at this. I wouldn't say to not try it out always when you can, but there needs to be a different way they evolve how they play against these guys. How many times are we going to see this, dude? The same song and dance every single time. We even cope ourselves in a thing. Oh, well, this time it might be different. It's never different. It's the same thing. Constantly. Yeah. You know? We're like, oh, this time they'll get it. It's like, no, they don't. They don't even learn from their own fucking games. You know? They don't even learn themselves they can't do this. You need to evolve your strategies. They can't. Exactly. I mean, even LS said this too. You know, they don't. They try to play their way, but they play it way worse. So basically, Weibo is just playing against fucking like another random wannabe LPL team at that point. You know,
exactly.
What's the difference with like NRG and someone like, I don't know, fucking Ninjas in Pajamas or Team World Elite? You know, like. I don't get how after all these many worlds they don't evolve their strategies. I mean, I did like that they pulled out the Senna and Tom Kench, but even in that, you know, they started losing their ways when how to use that around the map. You know, if you're Senna and Tom Kench, you can have really good scaling and move around the map and make proactive plays.
You know, the issue is like think about it. A flash in the pan works one time. Like when you do a trick play, it works the first time.
Right.
Eventually, people it might work a second time, and those 2 times NRG did the set of top kids combos against G2. Oh, it works. It's like, all right, cool. It works for certain teams when they know how to execute it, and you know which what comp to use it there, right? Boom. But eventually, people are going to start learning how to counter that. It's like, okay, this might not work. And you're just looking there like, okay, G2 just NRG just get countered. Everything they do is just get countered. That's me. Now they're gonna have to rethink this whole strategy because when your whole comp gets countered, just gets completely countered, what do?
Yeah, and that's the thing though. How frustrating is that? Because remember in game 2 when I don't get the Kaisa priority in this freaking tournament, man. Even in the GENG game we're going to talk about later on. Kaisa priority. What is with this Kaisa priority, man? Hate it. NRG is out here picking Kaisa for FBI, and it's like him playing Kaisa to dive onto light? Because remember, their point of their comp in game 2 is supposed to be like, okay, I pick Vi, I pick Kaisa, we have Alistar, we have a lot of dive to get to light on Aphelios, but it's like, well, Nico, alt, there's Rel engaged, there's Aatrox, like your comp is pretty much directly countered from theirs, you know? And that's the thing is Weibo beats NRG 3-0, and do people really think Weibo's an actually like a good team? Because they're gonna face BLG after we talk about BLG Gen G, and it's like, are they a good team? Or is NRG just terrible, honestly? Well, 2 things can't be true. Weibo could also not be that good, but NRG is still terrible, right?
I mean, Weibo's decent, but it's decent. It's a decent team when it comes to other Chinese teams that are worse.
Like that style of protecting light is not going to work against like JDG or Billy or BLG.
BLG maybe because BLG is kind of like and we'll talk more about this when we talk about the BLG, GENG. They've been playing a little sloppy. Like JDG, no, because you gotta realize that JDG seen you all year. They're gonna know how to counter your shit.
Yeah,
I mean BLG too, but BLG gets a little
but that's the thing is the worst thing about these regional matchups is people don't understand. If you've seen this stuff all year, which these people claim they do, but we know they don't. They're liars. You know, if you face someone so long, you know what are they gonna do to trick you? You know what they're gonna play through. You know their strengths and weaknesses, right? So that's it. NRG is done for the entire year. That's their Worlds 2023 and their year in general. I mean, they came into the summer split. They took over from CLG spot. They won a title. I mean, that's essentially. I mean, this is about as good as it gets, honestly. FBI can come back to another org and win a title and go to Worlds and still one of the best ADCs in LCS, but internationally, we've seen FBI for a hot minute now, and he's just going to be just meh. Honestly,
I think this year wasn't his fault. You
can't really blame him for that. Honestly, he tried his best. I mean, you could see it. There's only so much an ADC can do. when you don't have a team that's playing for you.
And something we'll talk about a little bit later once we talk about the Cloud9 saying, you're kind of right about these NA jugglers are. I don't know if they don't got no synergy with their bot lane.
They have no map awareness. It's just it's just two things. They have no map awareness and they don't gank for bot lane for whatever reason.
Is it me or is it just all NA jugglers? It's
like they literally do not visit bot lane. And I hate people say you can't play through bot lane. Okay, yeah, because BLG just didn't play through bot lane last night when Wei was just gapping Peanut in the jungle. Like, what? What do you mean you can't play through bot lane? What the hell? Look at actual dumb fucks who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So yes, next matchup, GENG versus BLG, a rematch of the MSI 2023 playoffs, actually. What's crazy is BLG beat all my teams this year. They beat Cloud9, G2, and GENG. You can't make this up.
Boom. Boom bop, baby.
Triple kill.
Yeah. To the head, nigga, JFK style.
They got triple killed this time around. God, they faced BLG faced all my orgs, guys. All three.
Oh, actually a 4-piece because don't forget they did clap RNG early, but
they did beat RNG in the LPL too.
Yeah.
So coming into this matchup, obviously, so there's one thing I want to say before we talk about the actual games themselves. So when people keep saying things like, oh, well, GENG got paired up against BLG. They're a top 4 team in the world. Well, okay. Hold on. GENG are also supposed to be a top 4 team. So in theory, it's happened to. If GENG lost to a top 4 team, I mean, yeah, I was disappointed, but I mean, they lost to a pretty good team. You know, if they lost to some shitter like NRG, I'd be like, oh, fuck, you know, that's pretty bad. But I don't get this mindset. It's like, no. People keep saying like, oh, but this team faced a hard team. Well, this team faced a hard team. Okay, if we're saying these teams are really good, then facing hard teams should be like by default, right?
Yeah.
Should not. Like, I don't get what people's mindset is. So BLG beat GENG. Okay, people got mad that they were paired up against BLG. People were like, well, that's the reward for facing. That's a reward for going 3-0 on the Swiss stage. What? Guys, if GENG are supposed to be really good, then they should be able to beat BLG. Which, I mean, the series did go to 5 games, actually. But I don't get this mindset of, like, if teams, like, other Asian teams arguably facing other just as strong Asian teams. No, I like that. They're supposed to be able to fight them. That's kind of the point, honestly. You know? Plus, I guess, given GENG's comp, they should be able to fight BLG, right? But this is the thing. BLG's playstyle directly counters a lot of these Korean teams. You saw GENG. I don't know why they do this. Like domestically, they'll be aggressive. They'll play to all their strengths, but like against like teams like Asian teams like BLG specifically, they'll play like this weird counteractive defensive playstyle against them. I don't get it, you know. So for most of the series, if you just look at it as a whole. Like I get that GENG won a few games, but even in the games that GENG won, let's be honest with you, it was still pretty BLG favored though, you know? Even in the games they won, it was BLG favored, actually, you know? Yeah. So my biggest issue with the series is Orianna's the best champion on this patch for mid lane by far, right? That we can agree with, right? How the fuck did Yigao get that every game? How did he get that every game?
Exactly.
He literally got the best mid laner or best champion on this patch like every single game. He got it in game 1. He got it in game 2. He got it in game 3. Guess what he had in game 4? Nico. They chose to ban out Orianna when they're on game 4, people. Game 4. And guess who BLG brought over for game 5? Guess what OP champion they picked in game 5? Orianna. He got Orianna 4 out of the 5 games. Chovy thought he could counter Orianna with Akali. And Akali does play very well into Orianna, but that's like later in the game in like side lane. So like in theory, Orianna can't side lane against Akali because of the dashes, the shroud, and all that stuff. She could just walk up and just basically almost 2-shot a carry. But then again, if you pair up Orianna with champions like Jarvan, how did Zun get Jarvan all those games, dude? He's over here just He's making Jarvan look like an absolute OP champion to play. Zuna's out here just like popping off hard as fuck last night. So first of all, why did Yagao get Orianna 4 games in a row? How the fuck did Jun get Jarvan every game? I think he played Jarvan like every game. Exactly. At that point, if he's playing that hard on that, if he's playing that good, you need to just take that away from him. I don't care if he has to go to another pick. You gotta take him off that stuff. Like maybe they thought they could just counter it, honestly, but no, they like what really I don't want to blame it on draft, but a lot of it was draft problems. Like the draft problems were so bad for them. Zun also really heavily gapped Peanut. I mean, it was pretty much Zun favored the entire night. Yagao had just an amazing series overall against Chovy. Like I said before, Elk's team fighting is just absolutely insane. Pays and Delight lost a lot of 2v2 pressure because of Elk and On. I mean, Ben and Zun turned around that 2v2 in game 2 when Peanut came up there to help Doran when he was on Aatrox, actually. Because that was Doran's thing. I'll pick Aatrox into Rumble or Cassante, and I'll have a pretty good matchup right there. Nope, that didn't work. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I love GENG. I've been with this org for forever. And it's just every year when they go to the World, the same song and dance, man. Because you guys know, I was with these guys when they were like, well, they bought the spot from Samsung Galaxy. So the only time I've ever had an org that I've ever rooted for a win a World was Samsung Galaxy back in 2017. 2017, my last time, right? So they became GENG. It was KSV first, and then it was GENG for summer 2018. They made Worlds. They bombed out of the group stage. Terrible week 2 performance. They lost to everybody. You know, they don't make Worlds in 2019. I don't remember the exact reason why. They lost a key matchup early on in the gauntlet, so they didn't make it. So 2020, they make it back again. They end up getting first place in the group stage, but that was a group stage with like TSM when they went 0-6, and it's like, you know? They were pretty dominant overall, but it's like, you were in danger of losing to that really bad team? That shouldn't happen in any given context, but they faced the Western G2 team with Perks, Mickey X, Wonder, Cap. So, you know, I mean, even I predicted them to lose against G2 that year because, you know, GENG were playing really slow that year. And I told you before, the Korean teams had this like really slow play style for like 2 years straight. So a faster team like them is going to beat them. So they lost 3-0 to G2 back in quarterfinals of 2020. So 2018, they bombed out of group stage. They lost to G2 in 2020. 2021, that's their best year at Worlds I think they've ever had, when they were 1 game away from beating EDG, when they had BDD, Clid, Ruler, Life, Rascal. So the team that is arguably worse than the players they have now did better than the players they have right now? I don't get it, man.
No, I mean,
are you telling me BDD and Clid almost brought them to a Worlds Finals closer than Chovy and Peanut?
Sometimes it's expectations, sometimes it's matchups. Like sometimes maybe
BDD is just a better player under pressure. Like I don't know.
Better player under pressure, but how long was that GENG team together?
2 years actually.
That's me. Sometimes you get chemistry. Sometimes those players work good together. It
was really. I mean, on the screen it looks really bad.
Yeah,
but there was still a top team in the actual LCK too, and it's. I look back and it's so weird that BDD like played that well, and I mean even the quarterfinals of that Worlds that year, man, they beat Cloud9 3-0, and they were like 1 game away from making finals. 1. 2022, what happens? They look kind of suspect in the group stage at Worlds.
Yeah,
it wasn't like as clean as people thought. They almost lost to Damwon. People forget they. Canyon picked. Remember what Canyon picked? Canyon picked Kane. Remember?
Yep.
Like it was very close. They lose to Damwon. So close. Who they face next? DRX, and they lose to DRX. You know, this year they qualified for their first MSI ever. They lose to T1, 5-game series. They lose to BLG, stomping. BLG just destroyed them. Then they make Worlds this year. They get out 3-0. So they've always performed. They've never got anything less than first place in group stages, ever. Except 2018. The only time they ever have. So also in 2018, they've never gotten anything less than like first place in the group stage or out of the group stage or with a winning record, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to playoffs, like I don't know, is it? So I think the big issue with them is meta adaptability, play style change at the tournament, not being aggressive enough when they know they can. I know they know when to take advantage of this stuff. We've seen it before. We've seen them take advantage of these window timers of summoner spells down, ults down, cooldowns down. We know that we've seen it. So people are blaming Chovy. I think him ego picking Akali was really bad.
Yeah.
Azir into Orianna, I can't fault him on that. Like Azir into Orianna's fine. But the Akali pick, I didn't really see much value in that. Like Doran had such a bad series, man. It was terrible. Like Doran, when Doran's on, he's on, but for the most part, he's not that guy for the most part. He's just not. He's an average top laner with slight upsides every once in a while.
I think he's decent. To me, I just don't think this is a championship winning team.
Outside of LCK domestically, right?
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's thinking of like in football or basketball. There's teams that can win their conference, but when they get to the championships,
they get zero forward. Yeah,
it's like think about those. What was it? Because this is League of Legends is one of those teams where they have region conferences. Think of it like the college basketball. There are some teams, Gonzaga for a chance. Mm-hmm. They own their conference. Nobody could beat them in that conference. But once they get out of that conference, they are very beatable. And that's how I think GENG is. I think GENG is a great team. Like,
or it's something maybe you said, or that we talked about like last year and this year too. It's just some teams just counter other teams just way better. Like BLG style specifically does counter theirs.
Yep.
Like that's why BLG had a great time against T1. Like BLG is factor. This is a really good team though. So it doesn't sting as bad as last year because I know they lost to a team that I know that they could have beaten last year. This team is just really strong. BLG arguably could be a top 4 team in the world. They're arguably probably second best team at the tournament after this now, or however pending the results of the other 2 quarterfinal matches, later on tonight. So yeah, I mean, oh dude, how did we remember in game 3, the drafting got so bad to the point where they gave Elk Caitlyn and they had Braum on. The drafting was so bad in this series for GENG. Not just gameplay alone. Drafting was bad, in the losses. And, in the first 2 games, it really felt like they weren't really trying to do anything. Did you feel that way? It really felt like they weren't even trying to push the pace of the game. Like, if you're going to give BLG a chance to ramp up their play style and play fast, BLG was like, oh, play fast. Okay, well, thank you. We'll just play fast. Like,
I saw that. I was like, oh, yeah, this ain't going to end well.
Yeah. Like, Chovy not respecting ganks on Yone. It's just so bad. Did Chovy choke? Well, yeah, I could say he did. He played really bad, honestly. I don't know what's up with this guy. I don't get it anymore. Like, he solved choking domestically, only to still choke internationally. So we got one thing.
It might be one of those things where it's one step at a time. It's like LeBron James, where he went from choking. He went from choking it like in the second round to get to the finals and choke it, or to the Eastern Conference Finals. There's
some progress we got to get through here. Yeah.
The only that whole situation, like sometimes it's Chovy full. Sometimes the team might only be good if they play against a team they know how to beat. If they can't figure a team out, sometimes it's like when Pokemon. It's like if you can't find the win con, sometimes you're just destined to lose. It's just not your time to win. And that's the sad part that people have to realize. He just wasn't destined to win. Like, maybe on that org. Maybe.
It's weird because they brought over Chovy to be an upgrade from BDD, but it's really not looking. I mean, I guess you could say domestically he's brought them titles, but it's going to be this. If they want to invest more time into him and they think he is a player that they can win worlds with, like I said before, this might not be the team to do that on, because if Peanut's their shot caller, and we know Peanut does a lot of their shot calling. I mean, Peanut knows how to.
Peanut didn't look good in those first 2 games. He would just get caught out.
The thing is, if someone is better mechanically than Peanut and more smarter than him at the game, he gets so gapped.
Yeah.
Remember, this guy got 5-game gapped on Jarvan. Even when he was playing Vi, he did well on Vi. Even the games they did well in quotations in, it still was BLG favored. It still looked like BLG had an angle at winning the game, But yeah, it doesn't sting as bad as last year because this is a really strong team. But just for them to lose this early is just kind of shocking right now. I don't think I've let it sink in yet, but so I root hard for the teams that I like, man. I want them to do good. It's just I thought this was the team that the year to do it, honestly. But hey, you win some, you lose some. You're right and you're wrong sometimes. So who do I think is going to win Worlds now? Well, I got to see the semifinals play out for a whole, but there's a good chance we might have either an all LPL semifinals or at least 3/4 is LPL in Korea. This is just LPL's year, man. LPL's just better this year, if I'm being honest here.
But you gotta think about it. Have to play think about it. Ruler league, GENG goes over to JDG. It's like
even Ruler knew it. I love Ruler, man. Ruler knew it. Hey, I don't think I can win with this org at the highest level anymore.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it sucks, guys. Yeah, all my teams are out. It sucked. I really thought this team could have made the finals, honestly. I really did. I didn't realize they would fucking revert into pumpkins. Once you're already down 2 games like that, you're always crawling out of a deficit,
Exactly. That's the sad part about it. It's like
once you drop games like that, it's really bad. So, you got anything you want to say about GENG? I mean, they won 2 titles, LCK, but
they won LCK, but no one's gonna care because they failed at Worlds. That's the difference between the LCK and the LEC. G2 to a certain degree. G2's low. G2, won. They didn't do as all right, but they still won. The LEC. LCK is like, it don't matter. GENG won. And definitely now it depends on how T1 does. If T1 gets to the semifinals, it's definitely not going to matter. I think right now it still matters that GENG.
No, people will start we'll start redoing history like, T1 was always better. They were just frauds, GENG. And it's like, holy shit. That's what's actually going to happen. Happens every year, honestly.
Dude, that's what's going to happen. It's like...
What's going to happen? I'm calling it right now. If T1 beat LNG, people will say, GENG were frauds. T1 was the real summer champion. Happens every year.
It'd be like, what if Faker never got hurt? Boom. That's what's going to happen. That's the sad thing about it too. Think about this. Who ran the region this year? KT for the summer at least.
Yeah.
KT and it was like, but why? And then people were saying, why GENG won? Because GENG was smart. They knew to choose the weaker team or choose whatever team they could have won against. KT decided, let's take out the king while he's weak. But that king got a dagger stuck right in your heart and twice killed you. Twice. Yeah. He killed you. He hit you in the head the first time. He didn't die. He came back alive, killed you again. It was like KT was the best team in the summer.
KT faced some pretty hard teams in that Swiss stage of Worlds right now, too.
Yeah. It's like...
So that's the thing that I don't get with people is like, if we think GENG is going to be a team that's in the finals, then facing BLG is eventually... A lot of people always want their teams to get random free wins. Like, if these guys are as good as people say, then they can beat these guys. You shouldn't be getting free wins. I hate free wins. If your team's supposed to be top 3 in the world, they should be able to face anybody by that logic. You don't need no free wins. Get the fuck out of here, Joe bum ass. Free wins. Everybody don't get no free wins in life.
Everybody wants free sun, but it's like the issue is, at what cost are you willing to take it at?
Yeah, you do. People really think JDG need free wins for anybody? No, JDG don't even care if they have. People really think JDG care if they face BLG, GENG, or T1? No, if they know they're strong enough, they'll fight them and beat them. That's just how it works. You don't need free wins. Like, where does that come from? From people? Teams at GENG's level don't need free wins. They need to be beating teams on their level. That's it.
And if you want to face a tougher team,
They need to face tougher teams. That's the thing.
That's why
a weaker team does not help them.
That's why people applauded at first. People applauded applauded G2 or not G2, KT for going after T1 instead of Herbalife. I remember in those runners, people were applauding it. Oh, take him out down and bury T1 in the dirt. But it was like, and then T1 was like, call the ambulance, but not for me. And it's like, ooh, oh shit, this looks bad. I KT now. It's like, it makes sense, and that's the thing about it. It's like, GENG is still gonna go down as a good team, a great team this year, but it's just there's something about this team when the going gets rough. It's like, plus to me, I think they would against the second best team is still in the playoffs right now in BLG.
Yeah, and to be fair, given how BLG may or may not win the tournament, if GENG are the only team to take them to 5 games, that's going to make them look a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's not really many angles. It's just, I've been with GENG for so long. Will I ever be with them when they win Worlds? I don't know.
But that's also BLG kind of took the foot off the pedal a little bit.
It did. Yeah, especially Game 4.
Because think about this. BLG took their foot off the pedal for 2 games, and Game 5, Game 5 looked like it was Game 2. It was like, what? Wait, what? And you saw G2, you saw GENG had a chance to come back. You look at it like, oh, GENG has a chance to come back. You watch Game 5, you're like, oh, okay, BLG was just fucking with them. He was just toying. BLG was just toying with them. Ben knows how far a gap it is between him and Doran. He knows he owned this motherfucker. Zud knows how bad Peanut is.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got you gal knows Chovy's shaking. He knows like Chovy's not 100%, and Page is looking a little nervous now.
The thing is, Yagal, even though he knows he's a bit weaker than Chovy and Knight and Faker and BDD, he just plays his game.
Yeah,
he's just really confident in his game. Is that the player you value more than someone like Chovy?
Yeah, because Yagal don't even say he's weaker than he's like they're just more experienced. The way he said it, it's like okay. That's me. He
Yagal reminds me of Jensen and Bjergsen. Like, oh well, Bjergsen's better, but it's like isn't he way more clutch, and this team wins a lot more with him? It's kind of reminds me of the similar thing. Yagal kind of just reminds me as a more buffed version of Jensen, honestly.
It's like okay, what do you value more? The person that wins more, or the one that has more accolades? It's the Michael Jordan versus LeBron thing. LeBron's gonna have more accolades, but Michael Jordan, when you needed him the most, was clutch.
And he also won too. What's also really good about being clutch is if you can be clutch and be the person that they need you to be. I mean,
and the thing about this in League 2 is like imagine being a juggler, not only winning your juggle pressure, also roaming up, also map awareness, stealing Barons, stealing Drakes. You're doing everything perfect. You are literally the motherfucking Michael Jordan. You are the defensive player of the year, the scoring title. You win the scoring title. You win the MVP. You win the All-Star MVP. Everything you do is clutch. Like you know how to wait till the last second, smite, get that Baron, get a 5-for-nothing, 8. You know, or sometimes I see the juggler literally let the other team get the Baron, and then they just kill the whole team, and nobody gets the Baron buff. I'm like, oh shit. Sometimes I started to realize this was Chinese teams, more Chinese than Koreans. Chinese teams will let you get the Baron just to kill you, that no one gets the buff. I'm like, what? Why the fuck would you do that? Why don't you take it for yourself? But if they kill you while you're about to get the Baron buff, they get that gold. They get extra gold or something. So weird shit. I was like, oh, okay. Let them kill the Baron, but then you kill them. No one gets the Baron buff, and then you get the gold from killing them plus the extra, CS. You're like, oh shit, that's smart. And you start realizing
BLG is literally 11-3
yep.
against these guys this year. That's crazy. Yep. They've beaten what is called Korea's best They don't. Yep. You could just say they're the Korean Slayers this year, honestly.
Exactly.
I just sucks, but just better luck next year for the guys that I root for.
Yeah.
This was just extra disappointing, even more than Cloud9, because you felt like the team maybe could have did it based off how good we knew they could have been.
Because everybody was hoping, and you know the sad part about it? You know the sad part about it is there's going to be a guaranteed Chinese team in the finals.
That's true.
It's guaranteed. Yes, and there might be a case where T1 beats LG to JDG because I don't got if KT beats JDG.
If KT beat JDG, holy crap, that makes everything crazy.
And then it's KT versus T1 again. I was like, oh god. Oh god. KT, why didn't you just kill him when you had a chance? And you gotta
to be fair, everyone's doubting KT. There's a good chance they do it. Are they the NRG? Everyone's doubting them. Could they do it? No, guys, it's not happening.
I mean, no. There's a chance they can. At this point,
aiming at BD, you're gonna have to play out of their minds for that to happen.
But also, there's a rare chance that JDG is 3-0 of it.
They'll probably get one game. I imagine KT will get one game. They might even bring it to 5 games, but JDG is like, I'll just pull out my fucking cock and then I'll just put it down your mouth.
I think it's KD versus T1. It'll be 5 games because it's always
just 5 games with those guys. What if the KT T1 semifinals telecom war for the final match?
Oh Jesus,
that'd be pretty exciting. To be fair, no matter the result, it's going to be an exciting thing. All LPL matchup, pending on LNG's match, or you get the telecom war in the semifinals of Worlds in Korea.
Yep.
And because that's the thing is, can T1 beat LNG? I think they can. And it's the same.
They will. I think they can too because LNG plays a kind of comp that T1 likes to play into, and that's the scary part about it. I think
LNG and T1 styles are very similar, honestly.
Yeah, but LNG likes to play fast, and sometimes when you play fast and you fuck up, I see the player. And that's the same. Now, when you play fast and you make one mistake, and sometimes your team's not like, I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I won't tell you that you fucked up. I'm gonna let you just let it sit right there until you figure out, like, yep, you can't take that play back. Definitely if you made another play after it. Because if you catch it before you make another play, I might let you take it back. Sometimes the team won't punish you if they know that you messed up. But if a team doesn't know that, if a team knows that you messed up and you don't know that you messed up, they're gonna kill you. And people.
I'll say if Faker wins this World against all the LPL teams in Korea, just after that, retire. There's no other better storyline than that. Just saying. What's the storyline than that?
Yeah. I would just retire at this point. I would just 4 championships. Just heal your wrist up. Just retire. Start become like one of those like coach / mentors for this team. Find the best mid leader, bring them over and train them how to become a leader of T1. You can bring over a Menace. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do it. Please T1 do that.
If T1 takes some minutes, burn that over to the ground.
Hey man.
Kitty says she's gonna be JDG's hugest fan now.
Of course. Because she wants to go against Keijo Uewa. She was like, first of all, Kitty, do not bet Keijo, because if you lose against Keijo's gonna make you dick ride him like the way he ever dick rided the shot. Like I'm letting you know right now. And that's a lot of dick riding. Just that could be I think T1 kind of got the shit as a stick. They ended up getting JDG on their side, but honestly, it was going to happen.
Oh, James in the chat. Yeah, Chobi massively underperformed that whole series. His brain just can't function under that kind of pressure at this point in time. Hopefully, it fixes itself next year. But we said
but also, I'm not going to put up 100% on Chobi. BLG sometimes, like BLG just had their number. Sometimes the team gets figured out. GENG tends to play the same style. They don't really change shit up. Like if it and going back to the Weibo NRG game, the reason why Weibo was able to do that same comp for game 2 because they know how predictable energy is. And they know that energy is lucky to be here. People say, "Oh, they're not lucky to be here." No, nope, they're lucky to be here. You catch the G2's team slipping after losing to GENG. Sometimes a loss, sometimes a certain loss just mentally breaks you in a sense where you're still thinking about that game, but you have to move on. Some people, it takes 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, their losses, you can tell, really affected them. Like, nothing we're doing is working against these guys.
It's like, how are we so good here but not here? It's like, because the LEC is not a good parameter.
We were just GENG. Like, last night, you saw after the losses they had in the first 2 games, they're like, so they just mentally destroyed.
I saw after game 5, I was like, Chovy knows he can't live this down. You lose, you're supposed to be the best team in Korea, and you lose like this. It wasn't even close. Game 5, you lose like this. It's what Doran's already gonna get shitted on. Either.
Oh, Doran's already out the door. So you know what happened with Mad Lions? They're gonna do a complete roster overhaul. Word on the street that they're already trying to overturn that. They're gonna turn over their roster for 2024. I think you keep the middle to support. I think you get rid of. I think you get a brand new top side. I think that's what you need to do. Peanut needs to be gone, and I think you just get rid of Doran.
Okay,
I'll have to see how many. I don't know who's going to be the free agents, but I think those are the 2 players you just get rid of. You can't have Doran anymore. He can have really amazing pop-up performances, but it's too big of a liability at this point. Yeah. You know, it's too big.
Who do you bring in?
I don't know who's going to be a free agent. I got to see who's a free agent first.
Yeah, that's the real question. Who do you bring in? Like,
because some of these teams this year, if we're being honest here, a lot of them are really good.
Yeah.
It's like you replace one of them, you're going to have a massive potential gap or upgrade depending on who you get, you know?
Yep.
Like you replace Peanut. Peanut's their main shot caller, so their consistency in the macro and their mid game could be really off without him. Yep. You know? If you replace Chovy, that's a major gap there in the mid lane that not a lot of people can fill, honestly. Exactly. You replace Pace, that's not a lot of ACs as good as that guy. Same thing with the light. You know, like I get it, they can have underperformances, but if they're trying to get someone better than that, you need to make sure that person is like an actual upgrade.
Yeah.
You know, or a side grade that in theory could be an upgrade based off like his personality, not personality, like way he plays in the game. Actually,
personality and team. So sometimes the person doesn't have to be better mechanically because you can always fix your mechanic by doing stuff. Is how well does he work on a team? Because that's the thing too. How well does he get along with his teammates? Because go back and look at GENG.
Yeah,
they didn't seem like they were the full cohesive team. They feel like there were 5 people playing together, and sometimes that's the
thing. Is since they trust Peanut and his like how he shot calls and does all that stuff, maybe you need another guy to challenge that. I mean, if he's the only guy that's really going to be based in how like a lot of their macro is and how their early game pressure is, it's looking pretty bad internationally. I mean, dude, we were 1 game away from losing to Damwon last year. And Canyon picked Kane. Okay, like if they want to do better at Worlds, I don't think Peanut should die anymore. Just saying.
Yep.
Domestically, yeah, Peanut can win some titles. It's cool, but this org wants to win Worlds. That's why you have Chovy.
Of course. Yeah, like that's the thing. You can't once you get to a certain level, you are equated by how far you get. Okay.
Mascot. Oh, I wish I had a girl who did this for me.
Yeah, just
damn. Until her fucking vagina tastes good.
You stupid.
Well, guys, the last thing to talk about tonight, I already put the video out there, so I'll do the other video tomorrow when I'm off. I got to go to bed soon.
I got a comment on that video. I saw it. I was like, oh, shit.
I knew it was going to happen myself. I wasn't that surprised, honestly.
You and I have been speaking this into existence. What if JoJo went to Cloud9? You know, every time I kept going, yo, imagine a team with Blabber, Berserker, and JoJo on the team.
So, tomorrow I'm going to do another video like I did with the Mad Lions one, covering like all the important news. This one is the most important one because I know people know I love Cloud9. It's the one my opinion on it. I already did a video about this, but as you guys know, JoJo will be Cloud9's mid laner for 2024.
No, you already got a video out there about this.
He's gonna be a big upgrade over a Menace and Diplex, but I can't really say over Diplex because Diplex barely got to play throughout the year. Honestly,
he's still gonna be an improvement.
Oh,
over a Menace.
Yeah. So no, a lot of people saw his really a tremendous gameplay that he put out for the LCS during earlier this year.
Yeah,
he got MVP. I think this is going to be a player. I think he's going to be a pretty good mid laner for Cloud9. The problem here is who you're going to pair him with. The rumored roster so far: Blabber, Berserker, Vulcan. Depending on what happens with the top lane, I think they'll be getting rid of Fudge. I hope they do. Please do not keep Fudge. Please.
My solution is who do you pick up?
Revenge.
Who do you pick up?
Solo.
I'm gonna ask you a question again. I need you to take this seriously. Who do you pick up?
Can they get Doran? Wouldn't Doran be the kind of player they need, honestly? Defensive guy who doesn't take up resources, who can play fine on his own. That's kind of the player they need. They need more of a. He actually kind of fit their team very well, honestly. I doubt they'd ever get him, but
hey, man, he might get kicked out of LCK.
He's not on Gen G after last night. He's homeless now. He's an org.
another player, if he's willing to come over from the LEC, Photon.
If they got Photon, that'd be pretty good, honestly. They need a player that understands that he doesn't need to be the carry. If he gets carry champions, you carry. You can be the guy that plays tanks.
Yeah.
Like you need players like that. The guy that's willing to kind of sacrifice a certain moment. You know?
Yeah.
I think they need someone like Doran that's better in laning, obviously, than him. A player like that is what the team needs in top lane.
Of course.
Because Blabber's carry orientated. JoJo's gonna be carry orientated. Berserker's definitely carry orientated. And it's gonna be in the LCS, so it's gonna be a lot more different way of looking at League than internationally.
Exactly.
So I mean, JoJo joining is pretty big. Honestly, they should be, depending on this roster, they should be a front runner to be in first or second place in power rankings when we get to that later on this year. But we have to see the rest of the orgs first. Now we know, obviously IMT is going to be going to MSI next year, right? Armeo as their jungler.
Armeo, oh my god.
That's an org that wants to do well in the LCS. It's someone that
why would you pick up a player that got bounced from his team mid-season?
The coach was like, "You're so bad." Yeah, go ahead.
And then the backup jungler did better than you did.
Imagine that. Kelsey Moser was like, "You know what? You're so trash. I'd rather just play with another person than you."
That whole org is a joke. Both of those orgs are jokes. EG's and I know you don't watch Travis, but Travis.
I haven't watched Travis in forever. Holy
Travis is right. EG's a walking course of an org right now.
They are. Yeah.
They are. When you're willing to let your player, I'm definitely throwing around roster that has Power 5.
Depends on which roster he's on. I mean, if he stays on NRG, they'll be a contender, I'll say.
I thought at one point Power Fox might go to Cloud9, but
it was on Cloud9 before, actually. It was an academy team.
Okay. If say they can't get Doran, what LCS top laner could
Cloud9 get? Hey, white man, I need you. Can you join really quickly? I need you. Sexy bastard.
Hurry up, James. Jump on the motherfucking podcast real quick.
I want to bend you over and put my tongue in your ass.
Whoa, okay, man.
Whoa.
Why you so goddamn aggressive, nigga? Like, damn.
Yeah, I'm trying to grape him. You know,
Jesus Christ, man. You trying to grape the guy that you pay rent to, nigga? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm trying to put a grape in his butthole.
Shit. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
God.
So like,
all right, hold on. I'm gonna send it to you on Discord really quickly.
Oh my god! But yeah, I would think Impact might be a good player.
I think they need him again. You need someone that's a solid top laner on an island. That's who you need.
Who would? Okay, I'm trying to look at somebody.
Very few people can fit that role ever.
Honestly. Okay. My thing is, how many import spots does Cloud9 have?
They're just gonna have Berserker. That's it.
Just Berserker. That's me.
They could import a top laner. You could. So you could have
Photon, Doran, if he's able to fall to their fucking life. I guess
doubt that's happening. That's not happening.
Even
Doran's not going to be on GENG. There's no way he's going to Cloud9.
And then nobody else.
Cloud9 got Zeus potentially if he's open in the offseason.
If niggas, what if they go for winning worlds to go to Cloud9? Get the fuck out of here.
And then he'll say things like, "We always wanted to win LCS." Fucking bullshitter.
That bullshit ass lie.
Why do you even want JoJo when Palafox is on the table?
Hey, am I getting a ride in the morning to work?
This is what you brought me on here for, to ask me for
outside of that? Well, I work at 8.
God, that's early. Yeah,
your mom is sick.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's been throwing up.
Shit.
Shit.
I'll try and give you a ride then.
So I'll be ready at like 7:50.
Okay.
All right. So what do you need from me?
You literally asked me to come on here. You could have just messaged me. This man brought me on here so he'd be like, "Hey, by the way, could you give me a ride to work? Maybe some lunch money? Got something else you want to ask for?"
So what do you think about World so far?
That's you acting like you're asking me questions now. I don't know. I think it's really fun. I really enjoyed NRG getting to semis.
They get absolutely fisted.
They got. I mean, who didn't expect that? I'm not gonna lie. Palafox. I would rather have Palafox than what's his name at this point,
Jojo.
He's just.
I mean, they're definitely going to be the best mid laners.
Palafox is just way better in clutch situations. He plays a lot better in playoffs. He played really the entire Worlds.
Did you see Jojo carry a whole dead ass team to playoffs?
I don't disagree with it. He's a better. I think Jojopyun is a better player, but I don't think he's as good.
You think Palafox is a better team player? I think.
I don't think at all. I think Jojopyun's all around better, but I think when it comes down to just if he has something that you don't see very often, which is the ability to play extremely good in high pressure situations. We saw that in the playoffs. Definitely saw that at Worlds. So I like Palafox. I was really sold. I was really just thinking that he was like a number 5 mid laner at most in NA before this Worlds in the playoffs, and I think you could argue he's the best one.
I thought he was like number 3, number 4. My issue is no NRG. Like, DeMonte cannot get mad that no one voted for them. If you lose to IMP twice, no one's going to take you seriously. That is the issue. You play up to good teams, but you play down bad teams. People are going to start looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and once you get to Worlds, there's nothing but good teams there. Like, of course, you're able to beat the European teams. Most of these teams outside of G2 are garbage, and then you beat G2 handily. That's like, all right, cool. Now it's like, oh, NRG better than G2. It's like, you sure about that? Sure about that. Okay, all right, cool. And then
people had them better as G2, but they didn't even predict for them. Like, people were so confident they're better than G2, then why didn't they predict for them?
G2
fucking losers.
G2 underperformed massively. That's all it is.
Yeah.
A G2 underperformed. They were definitely the best Western team, but they didn't play like it the entire tournament.
But I will give another side of it too. I don't think G2 was really as good as we thought they were. I think the LSC was complete trash this year. Like go back and look at some of these G2 games. G2 was playing very sloppy.
Well, they are sloppy. The problem
I know. And you see some of these teams are going against. Bad Lions can't capitalize. BDS is a shell of fucking org. And don't get me started on XL's Abadage. You got the
XL is really what JoJo was. Abadage's out here carrying 4 corpses.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck you doing? It's like, oh my, and don't get me started. Fnatic was decent, but my God, he was ending. He was literally
saying. I mean, Mad Lions literally had
Internoid. Mad Lions and Hiller saying, that motherfucker makes me disgusted to play as a support. Like, nigga, why are you?
What was worse in the tournament, Kellen or Hillesang?
Kellen.
Definitely Kellen. No, you know, no. The problem is Kellen actually gapped. What's his name? Straight up gapped him.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was. The second game they played, third game.
Second. I know
it was the third game. Third game they played. He gapped him so hard. That's how they won. 2 straight games. Hillesang literally never gapped anybody. Hillesang, the only person
he gapped his team by PayPal difference because he was PayPal the difference.
Drove me crazy because that's the problem with EU. The best EU supports are always players that just make hyperactively aggressive plays and it either pays off or loses them the game. It's very stupid.
Like BDS. BDS was live by Adam and die by Adam. Like really, the player who was asked for half the damn season, except for that one spring split.
Mm-hmm.
And he's your best player in the playoffs. Crowley was a disappointment. Let's just get that there. They put Crowley on ADC that should be doing damage that do no damage. Don't get me started on LeBron. LeBron been stealing checks this whole year.
World might have had the worst supports. LeBron was criminal.
LeBron was bad. Keller was bad.
Hillesang was bad. Honestly, Core JJ is arguably worse than all of them.
Core JJ, I knew going in he was the worst player at Worlds. He was terrible.
There's an argument to be made, but the problem is you can't even say he's the worst support because there's so many bad ones that I don't know who's the worst.
Even Lehens, I thought he was one of the best supports coming into the tournament. He's not that good either.
He did terrible at the,
he did terrible. He was bad.
Look,
again, the only support that's really actually played well is like honestly. Like played pretty well.
Jan, I don't even know what to say about Jan. Honestly, doesn't matter how much gold you give him, he's gonna put out caster minion damage.
Yeah,
crazy how he does it.
If you have Jan on your team, you're asking to just go winless in tournaments.
Team Lick could go 0-3 drop is not surprising.
I actually didn't expect it after the first game because they looked good. The second game,
I saw it.
After the second game, the first game. After the first game, you called it.
Yeah, you lose games. No, because if I've seen this happen before. If you lose games like that, your confidence is so shot. You're not going to mentally bounce out of the games.
James, I called it during the game. I was like, T1 playing sloppy, but T1 had to play it about a month and a half.
In my power rank, because I had them as the worst team at the event. They're terrible. They were garbage.
If you ranked them like that after the first game, I don't agree with it because
no. I had them lose and go on 0-3 drop right before it was over. I was like, when they had that last team fight and they missed position, I was like, oh yeah, Team Lick was done. They are done.
I actually do remember you guys specifically saying it was.
No, I knew they would.
GAM and NRG. You guys said.
Yeah, literally the worst team got the tournament. I knew GAM was a fraud, and I was like, Team Liquid are just about in that level with them.
You both said NRG also. I don't want to hear this.
I've been saying NRG are frauds. Like, in my opinion, they were not good. They got some lucky streaks. They caught a G2 Tina slipping. What happens when a team is slipping? You beat them up. What happens when a boxer's on a losing streak? You beat that boxer up because they don't have the confidence. They don't got that same moxie. Now plus G2 is their play style so predictable. NRG knows the one thing NRG knows how to do.
All NRG did was just face shitter teams like Team
Liquid's know how to
a bad team. Bad Lions are a bad team.
Yep.
You know,
it's like
Like, why did anyone think they could actually even steal the game off Weibo? They got clobbered in their first encounter.
Weibo actually looked like one of the weakest for Eastern teams. That's why.
Because they are.
Who said they couldn't take a game off them? They definitely could have.
No. I said Weibo 3-0. I had no faith in NRG.
I had Weibo 3-0. I was like, man, they ain't winning no games.
I had no faith.
Weibo's not nearly good enough to consistently throw anybody. That is crazy to say. You're very convinced. Because they're
terrible. I think against teams that are just way worse than them, they won't really struggle.
That's not true. They're very inconsistent and they're massive. Like, just the biggest problem with them, and another one with BLG, that's why I hate BLG's team. They're very unfun to watch. Is the fact that they essentially what they do is hyperactively aggressive early ganks and then force team fights for the next 50 minutes.
Yep.
I don't like that.
We got a fat factor in based on what BLG and they're doing things based off of a lot of windows.
They're not
they can
good,
make those opportunities.
Their mindset for macro is bad, and that's why they're able to lose to worse teams is because of that aspect. They rely on mechanics. BLG is a lot better in that aspect because they can actually mechanically take over.
No, that's why I said BLG. Yeah.
No, I don't like BLG that much. I don't because of the fact
I like watching BLG more than
the
Weibo.
only reason
Weibo's just BLG all carried by
Worlds.
light though.
Yeah, BLG cannot win Worlds. I don't believe it.
They're like the second best team in the tournament.
They're like the fourth best team in the tournament.
Honestly, there might be a world where BLG gets to the finals because
I think BLG will probably get to the finals. I don't have.
You're both overrating BLG quite a bit. BLG,
are you picking BLG over Weibo? Are you telling me?
I actually don't think so.
No. I mean, other way around. Are you picking Weibo over BLG?
I think there's an argument to be made. Is that who's facing?
Yeah. Because BLG just beat GENG.
Yeah, I just can't believe it.
Because
that one blows my mind.
Because I thought it was going to be a JDG GENG final. That was I was hoping for. Because my pick before the whole bracket came out was JDG versus T1. I can't get that in the finals because that is physically impossible.
The biggest problem I have with BLG is their inconsistent ability to be able to do anything. But again, if they don't get ganks early, they suck.
Oh yeah.
If they don't get a lead early, they're not as good as any of the Chinese team this tournament.
I'm telling you right now,
if you ban Jarvan against BLG, they're going to go 0-3 against Weibo.
Oh yeah.
No way.
Okay, they're not that good. You are overestimating this team. They're not as good as you're making them.
No, I think BLG is probably going to end up actually in the finals.
Yeah, because it's BLG.
You think they're that much better with that? You have the mindset that they're that skilled.
Have we not seen this team all year?
They've not been good. The biggest problem, the reason they win these games is because very good matchups inside the brackets for them.
Have you seen Weibo all year against
Weibo is inconsistent, but their highs is significantly higher than BLG.
But they're low.
Tell me one thing that you like about BLG's playstyle. Tell me. If you don't like them.
What do you mean?
Ben is the only thing that you can say is consistent.
Weibo has no macro. All Weibo does is just draft all Weibo does is draft a late game AD carry.
Team works specifically against Samsung is because the fact it's not Samsung anymore, but it's because they play hyperactive in the early game and then they force team fights, which means that you can't scale into the game.
The problem is how you play the game.
It's completely not true.
That's how LPL teams play.
The LPL teams are
the best LPL teams to play hyperactive are JDG and BLG.
BLG is the only team that I think they're the best suited team to take down Korean teams.
Also, their play style.
They already took down a Korean team.
Yeah, but I think that was unfortunate for Gen D.
They've taken out Korean teams all year though. They beat
I know.
Both
they are
Gen
the
G
best
and
team.
T1 before.
They'll beat if they face T1, they beat them again. That's the problem with BLG specifically. BLG against Chinese teams is probably going to lose to all of them. If they faced any of the other Chinese teams, I think they lose.
If they face against LNG,
but the thing about it,
let's say if LNG beat T1, no, they won't face them. They'll face them
in the finals.
No, they'll have to face for the finals. And LNG ain't beat JD.
LNG would beat them. GENG, and then Weibo could beat them. I think Weibo's the least.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance that all 4 semifinal teams might be Chinese teams
in Korea.
Yep.
I think BLG is stronger than the LCK teams. I don't know how they're going to play against JDG.
I don't think they're stronger. I think they're well suited against them. That's the big discrepancy.
But to be fair, that's all that matters though. Their playstyle directly.
Well, because if they face specific, I know. But if they face other Chinese teams, I think they lose. Versus JDG faces up well against everybody.
JDG have best players in every position.
LGD, I think would probably 2-1. I mean 3-1 at the worst against BLG. Weibo, I think it's a 3-2.
If JDG face
LG, Weibo over BLG,
I'm not picking Weibo or BLG.
I like Weibo, but I'm not picking
Weibo. Weibo is so one-dimensional as a team.
There's no one dimension. They're inconsistent.
All they do is draft for light. That's it. They have no max. They have nothing else.
James, that's the same thing. Them being one dimension is them being inconsistent.
They're not one-dimensional. They're bad. They're bad at making consistent plays.
Yeah, that makes them one-dimensional.
You can be a bad team and not be one-dimensional. That's just flat.
One-dimensional. In my terms, one-dimensional means flat. That means that's how I see it. Because
that's fair. I'm just saying they draft many different comps. It's never the same, and they literally do.
All Weiwei does is gank bot to know
that's not a different.
That's their only win condition. That's it.
First of all, that's
and he leaves Xiaohu and the Shy on an island. That's all he does.
You're talking about early game, a specific pressure.
That's all they do, though. That's
their mid game and late games are different than any of the other.
The Shy just runs in and does brainless.
No, the Shy either splits hyperactively or aggressively lane. I mean, team fights. And you can gain.
No, he does it very brainless. You just not think his Aatrox.
The Shy is good. Why the Shy straight up carried
he's great, but the issue is he's usually the weak lane on the top.
He plays weak side. That's
also like Xiaohu's not had a good tournament. Only out in team fighting he's had a good tournament. He's terrible in lane against a lot of these guys.
He did really. His Orianna's been pretty solid. But I guess everybody's Orianna's.
That's Orianna though.
That's Orianna in general. Orianna's the best champion on the patch though.
Like the only champion I've seen on Orianna that was dog shit was a Menace.
His Azir was pretty solid too. But
outside of laning phase, he got destroyed in the laning phase.
You don't win laning phases Azir.
No. What I'm saying is if you put that lead against any of the Asian teams you're just talking about, they get completely curb stomped. The only reason why that works is because that was against Mad Lions.
No, I don't disagree. Well, first of all, he's played Azir like 6 times already.
He literally went 0-9 against someone like Niski. Imagine that against like anybody else.
Yeah, no, Niski was beat up.
Like he was losing to Niski. That's pretty suspect right there.
James,
that was at the beginning of the tournament, to be fair.
James, the reason why Mad Lion lost because Mad Lions let it get to the point where Weibo finally scaled up, and it was
I'm saying is, do they have a play style that's not basically protect light? Because that's going to get figured out quickly.
Their play style is just outskill them in team fights, which works well against a lot of teams.
That's the same about it too. BLG is not going to let Weibo scale the fuck up like Mad Lions did. Why would you let Mad Lions?
If you let a team scale, your team's trash.
If you look at average game times, BLG has one of the highest because they don't know how to close games out fast. They get early game leads and then try and force into late game team fighting. It's nonsense to me. I still don't know how it's working.
Did you see these last couple ones against GENG?
They were 40 minutes. They were long. Like literally, if you look, you could look at the game time.
I feel like that's their biggest problem.
That is their biggest problem.
They take the pedal off the gas. They need to make sure if they're winning, they need to just make sure they close the game out.
I hate BLG. I actually think they're my least favorite team.
You hate Ching Chongs?
No, I like Weibo because they either win in 30 minutes or they lose in 20, and I think that's exciting to watch.
That's basically just NRG with Asians.
No, because NRG is not fun to watch because they're bad. Like NRG is so unfun to watch because all of their players are just not good at champions.
All right, we'll have to head out of here soon because I got to get to bed in like about 30 minutes. But who's winning tonight? JDG, KT. Oh, I had JDG winning.
JDG most likely wins. If KT ends up winning,
KT win, oh my god,
it's
crap.
I don't even think that's a
pretty big upset right there.
It's a relatively big one, but I still think NRG beating G2 was huge to me. I did not expect it at all. I was like,
I didn't either.
Blew my mind.
No, BLG beat him in under 30 minutes for the first 2 games. BLG knows how to. BLG knows how to clean shit up.
Less than 25 minutes. Game 1 was like 21 minutes.
No. The first one was 29:41. They know how to close games out.
I'm saying their average game time is relatively decently high.
Yeah. And I think that's due to the fact that they go so like they know how to get ahead. They know how to get an early game lead. The thing with them is that they go too hard into trying choking the team out when they know they could win. That's their problem. It's like they can't get leads or win the early game.
I'm gonna tell you this: both game 1 and game 2 ended under 30 minutes.
30 minutes is an extremely long game now in today's
league. Yeah.
What?
It is.
Have you seen some of these LEC teams going 40
LEC
minutes?
and NA teams don't count for anything because every one of their games lasts 50 minutes. If the only way it lasts long in those games is if they're winning, which doesn't happen.
27 minutes is about average for some of these Chinese teams. About 25, 26, 27 minutes.
I'm just telling you,
think I should eat out shots
that they do have a lower success rate in early games.
What?
Do you think I should lick out shots and shitter like an apple fritter?
I'd like to see some proactive play from Weibo if they're at this next game, and hopefully they don't just roll over and die because they are just gonna gank 50 times.
I'm gonna tell you, but James, I'm telling you this: BLG was able to beat GENG under 30 minutes. Guess how long it took GENG to beat BLG in Game 3? Want to take a guess?
Game 4?
No, Game 3. Guess how long it took GENG to beat BLG?
You want to know what that is? It's because BLG
minutes?
was winning the entire beginning of the game, and they came back because BLG couldn't close it.
I thought that was Game 4.
They
came back, right?
Literally every game they came back.
No,
they were never fully ahead.
I remember the games that GENG won were like 29 minutes.
Exactly. No. Games 3 is 46 minutes. I fell asleep like 10 minutes in. I'm not watching this.
The reason these games lasted so long is because BLG couldn't close it out. That's the reason they did it. They were ahead, and then GENG would make. Remember that random team fight? But
the issue is GENG was never truly behind.
They were truly behind. The problem with it, if you're equalized in an early game, in like a team comp where you lose early game, you're behind by about 2,000 gold worth of abilities.
But remember, the thing with comps like that, if a team doesn't give you any more windows to constantly push the lead, you're not really ahead. You're just ahead kind of like by certain advantages.
That's what I'm saying. That's why GENG was never in danger.
They stopped griefing. They stopped I remember they stopped fighting them at a certain moment because they were like, wait a minute, our comp is
they sieged for about 50 minutes. If you didn't see when they got Baron, they just ran around bot until they realized, hey, we've literally done 0 gold to this damage to this tower. And then they went and had what's his name, Top Bin shove mid, and they got a tower from them. Like it was
because game 4 is about 36 minutes.
Yeah,
the
games that
GENG takes a while to close.
Well, no, that's because they were losing. If they were winning the games, they still would have been long.
No, it still would have been long because GENG takes a while to like finish out games. BLG, the BLG knows how to get to the finish line. They choose to. Like,
they try.
We also got to put the context in there too. Even in the games that GENG won, they were still massively BLG favored.
I think the reason these always take long is because BLG gets a large amount of gold, and then use that gold to try and get essentially they have the ability to just run up, get ward pressure, so they can place wards all over their map. They pressure objectives, and they don't make proactive turret moves until they get an objective. They don't do anything. They wait for these, and I hate that lack of a proactive. Their mid game is honestly one of the worst out of the quarterfinal teams. That's what I hate about them. Their late game is really good.
Because BLG's longest win was 34 minutes.
Yeah. If KT win against JDG tonight and a T1 can beat LNG, Telecom Wars semifinal, sign me up.
I could not imagine it, but it would be fun to watch. I think LNG. Really fun. I think SKT beats LNG.
What if T1 goes 5 games to KT like they went all year?
It'd be fun. I mean, I can't lie. I'd love to watch either one of those teams.
Yeah. Would you rather watch a LPL, LPK semifinals or an all LPL fucking semifinals?
My rankings for teams I want to see in the finals are SKT, then maybe either JDG or Weibo, one of those two teams. So
I want to SKT.
I think T1 has the best play style of fighting off JDG.
They do, but they really match up terribly against BLG. So if they make it to the finals and BLG does too, they might be able to win because, again, I think one thing that I will say is that I still think GENG is better than BLG, but they choke like stupid Peanut and
Choky.
Honestly, he deserves that game. Look, what did he do this tournament? I'm not this tournament, but
he ego picked the Akali into Orianna. Dude, why is Yagao getting Orianna 5 games in a row? That's unacceptable.
I'll agree.
That's just draft gap. No, he got Orianna 4 out of the 5 games. That's just unacceptable. That's just
look how many times they got gap. How many times?
And my thing also,
you have to just ban out Jarvan in those games. If he's playing bad,
the problem
Jarvan,
is,
you have to ban it.
But my thing also, why are you putting delay on Rel into a Tom Kench? Like, I've played enough support
because Rel is just the best support.
Remember that game 5 you were talking about? So remember when Delight made that Rel play?
You mean the one where he
capitalize on it.
Yeah,
they couldn't capitalize on it though because the equalizer came down. Had they not given over Rumble in game 5, he had a 5-man Rel engage.
It was the problem wasn't the fact that they gave over Rumble; it's the fact that Rumble was fed. And then if you equalize as a fed Rumble, you lost the team fight if it's good.
Yeah, I think outside of Genji playing bad, the drafting was bad. Who gives over Orianna 4 out of 5 games?
I know the biggest problem, and again, the reason is because J4 obviously is a one-dimensional champion, but it doesn't matter if he gets consistently good engages on. Bin clears Zeus. I think that's a lot closer than Bin versus what's his name at least, Doran at least.
Also, why would you put Peanut on Vi?
I don't know. He plays Sejuani, Gragas, Wukong so much better. Even if they're tier 2 picks, pick him that stuff. He'll actually be impactful. Him on Vi is disgustingly bad.
Why do you pick Vi in a team comp that has Tom Kench?
No, they didn't.
You can't do it.
I forgot the comp he had. What
the reason
game 3, right?
It was Vi versus Tom Kench.
Wasn't that game 3? I'm pretty sure it's game 3. I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We're talking about the game he played Vi.
Yeah, it should be that. Should be.
It was game 5 too, because game 5 he
picked Vi in game 4 and game 5.
Yeah, and I believe they had Tom Kench in one of those.
They did. Tom Kench Senna.
Yeah.
The
biggest problem is that Vi jumps on somebody. She has to jump on Tom Kench because if she jumps on somebody else, they get eaten by Tom Kench and she can't.
But remember, BLG got the counter. BLG final picked Senna and Tom Kench early on.
You don't play Vi then.
You don't second round pick Vi either.
That's what I'm saying. You don't pick Vi if there's an option.
Tell me this: why is GENG just constantly giving Jarvan over to BLG?
They didn't respect Jarvan enough because Jarvan, it should not be that decisive of a game winner. Like honestly, he's a solid champion, but the only thing
the drafting was just so bad, dude. The drafting was horrendous.
I actually look at game 2 where again they had a really solid enough team, but they didn't have consistent engage. It doesn't matter if you have game 1. Was that game 1? It was game 1. Sorry. Game 1, they didn't have DPS and they don't have lockdown. So what you can't do is team fight. What you can't do is kill Baron. What you can't do is kite because you don't have any kiting ability.
So you're saying they're just mega draft gapped?
What they picked, that was the worst draft of the entire series. What they drafted was a frontline team that has no consistency, and you could see because they picked Maokai after that because they realized their biggest problem was not having.
Oh, you're talking about game 1? They had Jax, Rel, Azir, Aphelios, Tom Kench.
Yes.
Yeah. The problem here with that game is Zun was way more impacting bot lane than Peanut was because they knew bot lane was their win condition. But
their problem was
Peanut's ganks were way worse than Zun's bot lane. So
the only time that Peanut outganked him was in game 3.
Remember the one game where he tried to do the 2v1 with Doran and they lost? I was like, just go home. Let's leave.
Are you talking about the one? Well, technically, you're talking about the one where he played. What's his name? Big guy, Cassante.
Yeah.
Brought him under tower. Yeah. They willingly killed himself
the whole time.
No, he willingly killed himself there to try and get the first blood, and he knew he was.
Yeah, because Doran's thing is Doran picks Aatrox in a rumble, but he literally used all of his combo before Peanut was even there, and then they got 2v1'd by a Rumble and a Jarvan. The draft gap was so big that last night, you can't give over Orianna, the best champion on the patch, that many games in a row. That's just asking to lose free games.
I think there's way worse drafts in this tournament, but only one team in the quarterfinals had them, and that was NRG. Everything else, I think that you, as an Eastern team, I know we shouldn't hold them to a higher standard, but you got to do better than that. If you're arguably one of the best teams in the world, you can't.
No, yeah.
That. Terrible drafts all around. I think they
and that's Score too, and Score knows how to draft. There's no excuses. Like Score's not an idiot.
Game 1, game 4, game 5 were some of the worst draftings we've seen in the quarters, even worse than NRG's, I'd argue. And it's because
I think the Gnar pick is fine. He just TP'd on terrible timings on Gnar.
Well,
remember
the problem wasn't
the one
Gnar.
where he held his flash. Oh God!
The problem was
terrible
trying to grab Vi and Akali in a game where that you don't actually have enough lockdown to be able to kill them because of Tahm Kench. That's my biggest problem with it. You grab all these lockdown killers. I mean, Kelly does well into Tahm Kench. Vi doesn't do good into Tahm Kench at all. And we can blame NRG for that because they're the ones that got everybody to play it. But it's been really bad trying to see everybody try and face against it because the ability to have Tahm Kench, because Tahm Kench has more gold than every other support combined because he gets to farm himself. So he gets the ability to be able to farm for a while, which means he has inherently more health and everything than anybody else. Getting a large frontliner from the support and somebody who can save anybody in the league, and on the team is very big.
That's why, I think drafting has been very bad at the tournament. Like the Tahm Kench priority has not been enough.
I will say, out of every Western team, NRG was the best at drafting. I didn't like the drafting some of the times, but
they're also really good at proactive plays.
They
proactively knew how to progress
are a team
the game too.
That played over their skill level, and that comes down to being the most prepared out of everybody else.
Well, it's not even just draft. Like in the game, they were actually progressing the game. They weren't just giving things over for free. They were trying to take the fight.
I will say, Palafox and Contracts played way above their pay grades. Contracts made hyperactively aggressive ganks across the map. And that's what kept them in the game.
Do you want to sleep with him?
I honestly no, but
Jesus
I still
Christ.
did like his gameplay.
Well, guys, I gotta get to bed. I had to get up at 7:30 in the morning. So thank you guys for coming out tonight and hearing James try and eat me out.
Oh shit!
So James, would you like to fist Chaz with me?
Chaz?
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Why is it only what's wrong with you when I say it?
No, I'm saying no, MSK. What's wrong with you, MSK?
You want me and James to just lick you out? Tear that booty hole up?
No, I want James to put Leonard on a flight to Connecticut for a one-way ticket.
Only if you say one-way ticket, okay.
One-way ticket. But matter of fact, bring the whole family, man. Or do you like hanging out with Carla? Okay,
I got no preferences either way, man. You're gonna have them off if they're willing to go.
Yeah, and they're Mexican, so they need jobs anyway.
Jesus,
they're on free cards anyway.
Shit. I mean, technically, Lena was born here, and she's an actual citizen.
It's so weird how Lena was born here, but she's younger, but she gets to have the actual citizenship.
No, that's how it usually happens. It's not the older one that gets the citizenship; usually the younger one, because the older one.
Weird.
Because knowing how the whole story is, the mom was probably pregnant at 17 with Carla, came over here when she was 18, probably had the baby right before she came over here at 18, and then fell down with whatever guy she was with. Then she, of course,
Lennon's gonna probably sit on your face after this, right?
Jesus Christ! I mean,
thank you guys for your support.
Nice.
Thank you guys for your support. I have more content coming out. This episode will be up on the podcasting platforms very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching so much. We just need, more listeners.
Real quick. Fuck, Mary, Kill, Shocks, Emily, Lore.
You mean Kitty in that mix, right?
No, Shocks, Emily, Lore. Fuck,
I'm
Mary,
killing
Kill.
Emily.
Jesus Christ!
I am marrying Kitty.
I think she might. Kitty's not in this game. MSK.
I don't care. I'm marrying Kitty. You probably kill Shocks and you just have sex with Laura one night. Yeah.
Why kill Shocks?
Wait, did you say Laura?
Lore.
Laura
and Emily, right?
Oh, out of Emily?
Emily
look like she wants you to sniff her butthole.
Emily looked like she might be a freak. Emily looked like she a freak. But okay, if I had to, I probably would have to kill Emily. I probably would have to kill her.
I have to marry Laura.
I'm fucking shit out of Laura. I'm not marrying her.
You have to marry Laura. That's how it works.
I'm busted in Laura's face.
Dude,
I'll marry the shot.
Maybe James could just take tickets, come and put it in Chaz's mouth.
What?
Is that what you're doing, Chaz?
No.
Why are you saying that, Chaz?
I ain't say shit, nigga. I'm over listening to this cockroach looking motherfucker over here, man.
Hey, yo, when T1's out tomorrow, you won't be keeping that same tune, though. Just saying.
Nigga, I still got BLG, though, bitch. Where your team at, nigga? Where RG at, nigga? Where your rings GENG at, nigga?
Where your rings this year?
Nigga, where your rings at, nigga?
I got my rings. I got my rings right here.
Nigga. Where your team's at, nigga? Where
I got girls on my dick, shit in my mouth, pissing in my ears.
James, what girl does this nigga got on his dick? What girls?
I don't know how to answer that one. I think we all know the answer to that one.
He ain't got no girls, man.
What do you mean? I have girls pissing in my ears and shit in my mouth.
You got some weird stuff.
What the fuck?
Like, you a weird guy. You a weird man.
Well, all right, nigga, you ain't got no
like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. Thank you, guys. See you guys tomorrow.